You know that saying, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know? Well, I always add on to that, and it's about how they know you. And I have a story about that. When I was in corporate America, I had a mentor that I hadn't seen for about 15 years, and he was coming to town for a meeting or something. And he said, we should get together for dinner and catch up. And I said, yes, that'd be great. So we got together, and I was a commercial real estate broker at the time, and the market was actually crashing that year. But I was committed, I was enjoying it, and I had a personal brand company. What my company now, the Core Value Company, started as a personal brand company. It was called Evidently Assured. And so he said, well, tell me about this personal brand company. So I was talking to him about it, and apparently I lit up as I'm telling him about the personal brand company. And at the end of that, he said, well, what would it take for you to do it full time? And I said, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. And I think I had just started going through my divorce, maybe. And I said, I don't know. And he said, well, don't do anything fancy, but go home, think about it, write it on the back of a napkin, and let me know. And so I was like, it occurred to me what he was asking me to do. So I remember this, I went to Houlihan's. I got my favorite meal at the time, which was grilled salmon with mashed potatoes and steamed green beans. I locked myself in my apartment. Yep, I was going to my divorce. Locked myself in my apartment, downloaded the business plan from Harvard. They have a template you can use. And I did a complete business plan. I emailed it to him on Sunday night, and I mailed it to him, FedExed it to him on Monday morning. Crickets. So I didn't hear anything back, and I was just like, that was actually an amazing exercise because it helped me to have vision for taking it full time and for seeing how good the company could be. And so 2 weeks later, I was at my friend Patrice's house. And this was when we had Blackberries, and I get a text on my Blackberry that says, I have decided to fund your business. I, I'm sorry, what? I dropped to my knees in gratitude and worship and just kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now I actually didn't know what that meant, but he literally wrote a check. He said, I don't know much about your business, but I'm betting on the jockey. I've been watching you and watching your business consistently grow on the internet, unbeknownst to me. I hadn't talked to this man in 15 years. I didn't know that he was watching how I was moving. Hell, I don't know. He could have talked to some of my clients for all I know. But this is why your personal brand is happening whether you participate in it or not. So if you are struggling with understanding what your brand is, what your next step is, you don't know what your brand is in the marketplace or how you're showing up in the world, then definitely join me for my 3-day intensive happening the 4th, 5th, and 6th of September. The link is in the link tree. I think I've also put it on LinkedIn. But understanding how we work, and then what makes us tick, and then how that's spilling out into our relationships, into our workplaces, into the things that we do is so important. And again, your brand arrives before you do and stays when you leave the room. And if you're not intentional about it, then you're leaving a lot to chance.